It's Wednesday, February 18th. I'm talking to Steve Staples of the Rideau Institute. The whole world was stunned by the collision of two nuclear-armed subs deep in the Atlantic Ocean, a French sub and an English sub. How many subs are out there, and what's the significance of all of that, having that many nuclear-armed subs out there long after the Cold War is over?
I think for most people, they are surprised to even know that there is even one nuclear submarine out there anymore. Most people feel that the Cold War ended decades ago. What the heck are countries doing sending these nuclear submarines out there anymore? But the fact is there's dozens of them out there. Britain, France, the United States, Russia, other countries, a handful, have this capability. And in fact, the ability to put nuclear-tipped missiles on these kinds of submarines is actually being preferred by many nuclear powers as they mothball their missile forces and their aircraft launched nuclear weapons. So they prefer to use the submarine capability. So, and I think, frankly, it just underscores the ludicrous nature of this, that why would a country like Britain or France spend the billions of dollars it takes to build one of these fleets, maintain them, to keep the capability of operating nuclear missiles in this day and age when the most grave danger to life is to our lives is somebody flying a commercial airliner into a building? It's ridiculous. And I think that most Canadians kind of look at this and saying, what the heck's going on? But it's true. There are thousands of nuclear weapons in the world. The main nuclear powers cling to them as a currency of international standing now. So,
is there not an agreement to limit or get rid of these things?
Well, there's been efforts for decades, ever since the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty was signed in the 1960s, that there was an obligation for these countries to get rid of their nuclear arsenals. And the deal was that they would get rid of theirs in exchange for other countries not acquiring nuclear weapons of their own. But you see, the longer the nuclear weapon states maintain these nuclear weapons, other countries are going to try to get them, whether it be North Korea or Iran or others. So Pakistan, for instance, and maybe other countries as well. So there's a double standard going on. And there's been long-time campaigns to try to get the nuclear weapon states to finally disarm. Now, what's new about this issue? Well, what's new is his name is President Obama. And Barack Obama gave speeches last year where he actually talked about abolishing nuclear weapons, getting rid of all of them. Now, mind you, this is when he was campaigning. But the fact that a major U.S. political figure, who is now the president, has spoken openly about abolishing nuclear weapons, finally, I think is absolutely remarkable. And it's clear that Obama is a game changer in all of this. He could finally move to get rid of nuclear weapons. He's talked about major negotiations already since becoming president, at least getting down to 1,000 nuclear weapons for each of Russia and the United States, and then going further. So I think this is tremendously good news, considering we have 8 years of the Bush administration that did nothing but tear up treaties and drag its feet and fund the development of new nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, they were prepared to invade other countries for daring to develop their own nuclear weapons, while the U.S., in perpetuity, maintained their own.
In addition to the waste and expense of having all these thousands of nuclear weapons, what's the danger of them?
Well, I don't think we need to see much more evidence than two submarines the size of two 747s each colliding, nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed, somewhere in the bottom of the ocean. It's ridiculous that it seems like a 1,000,000 to 1 chance that this would happen, but in fact it did. And the greatest risk may not be an all-out nuclear attack between countries these days, but is probably going to be an accident. And the longer that we continue sending these submarines out on these patrols and playing their games of hide and seek out there, all in the name of justifying some permanent seat at the UN, because the international power and prestige is connected to having these nuclear weapons, is going to eventually end up in an accident. I mean, you can keep rolling the dice every year as you put these patrols out there, but sometimes, you're going to come up with craps.